Cool. So what I want to do is I want to put this class right next to this one. So let's just see if I can split right and collapse this and then here. So I want to translate this class into a proper SQL that we can basically move forward later on. So within the version 1 __ initial setup, in here you can have as many SQL statements as you want, provided that it hasn't been applied, which is our case. So we deleted a bunch of stuff and we are starting fresh. And more important, we want to do things the right way. So let's create a table. So we're going to say create and then table. And this table will be called customer. So the same thing that you see with this entity. And inside, we want a few things. We want the ID. So I'm going to say ID. And the data type of this will be big and then serial. Big serial, like that. Now, big serial is just an integer. So, or actually, it's a big and then int, but backed by a sequence. And I'll show you this in a second. So the same way that we've done in here, right? So let's just say that this is big serial. And what we're going to do also is say that this is the primary key, right? So we say that it's the ID, it's backed by a sequence, and it's also the primary key. Let's also define in here the name. So name, let's just say text. So text, and we're going to say not and then null. So we want when a new record gets added to always be present. Let's also have the email. So basically I'm just following this. So you see we have nullable, false. So the same here, not null. So we also want the email. So email, and then this will be text. If you want, you can say varchar and put a limit there, but for now, let's just say text and then not null. We could also say that this is unique. So we could add a unique to make sure that we don't have duplicate emails, but I'll show you this in a second with a second migration. And finally, we want the integer. So this will be, age. So age, and then this will be int, right? And then not, and then null. And to be honest, we are done. So big serial right here. So I just want you to be aware is the same as us doing this. So if I was to, in here, create a sequence manually. So if I was to say create and then sequence and then give it a name. So customer ID sequence. Let's just take this name here, customer ID sequence, and then add semicolon. And then here, instead of us saying big serial, we just say big and then int, and then we say default next and then val. And I'll show you how next val works in a second. And then we basically say in here that this is the sequence that we added. So next val for the sequence. And this is pretty much the exact same thing, but we've just said big serial, therefore we don't have to create a sequence ourselves. And you'll see what the sequence name will look like in a second. But to be fair, this is pretty much it. So now we have this table that corresponds to all of this stuff that we did with Spring Data JPA in Hibernate. But obviously now here we have full control. Next, let's go ahead and apply this migration and inspect our database.